Books
versus
movies. Fight Club!
I hope your ears were ready, Daddy, because we're back with the Books vs. Movie Fight Club. I'm your snake daddy, your meat stick princess, your cheese poker. Oh, I fucked it all up, Paul. I'm here. I'm Matt Cack, and alongside me is the light of my life.
Paul Palinda Shields.
Ooh, Paulinda. I might actually start calling you that.
Palinda.
That's always...
Glinda.
That's always a problem. And of course, joining us, our versus is Aimee. What's up, Aimee?
Not much.
No,
How's it going?
No, good.
Yeah.
Now, this month we read a doozy of a book here. The biggest movie in theaters right now. If you haven't heard about it, I really don't know what's wrong with you. I feel like everyone I know has heard of
They advertising it everywhere.
Crossovers. It's The Wicked, of course. The Wicked.
Yeah.
And we so The Wicked. It's at first it's the book, and then it was the musical, and so now this is the movie. Now the movie
Well, the musical
is mostly based off the musical, right?
is based off.
Kind
The musical is based off the book.
very loosely.
The book is based off of the
So I feel
previous book
yeah. So I feel like
and tads of the movie.
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz.
yeah, and then
Scotia bit.
well, and then there's like weird things in the movie too, where it's like, so in the book Wicked, the shoes. Well, so anyway, the shoe color gets all
There's a
mixed
problem.
up, and yeah. Regardless, this is like the first time
Yeah.
where it's because Salem's Lot's the only one we've done so far, and those were the story was pretty similar, so we could kind of go side by
Yeah.
side and follow it.
So maybe we should do it. Yes, tell them how we do it. I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
so normally we would go like through the story, kind of talk about how the book and the movie are similar, kind of go through the story, tell where differences are, how we feel about it, and then really kind of show you where it's different and which one we like the choices of. This one, however, I feel like the story varies incredibly wildly, and so it might get a little confusing for people who haven't read or watched, but I think we can still handle it similarly. But we'll just have to let people know how, okay, when we're going completely off the rails, that's the book. When we're only slightly off the rails, that's the movie.
When we're talking about the Disney version,
yeah,
that's the movie.
Yeah.
There
If
is
it's
very
a
Disney.
chance.
yes.
There is more than a
That
good
is-
chance that I'm going to lose my shit during this. So probably we should say that it's not. It's probably not safe for work.
Oh yes, this is
No.
not the one thing I'm going to rant about is probably not even totally politically correct, and I'm not the right person to address the issue. But by God, I got opinions. But so I guess let's start with what the book is. Wicked is sort of a preview to Wizard of Oz, like a prequel to an extent, but also like a side by side in parts, where you're getting the full story around the Wicked Witch. Wicked Witch Alphaba, which apparently the name was because of Frank L. Baum's initials.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that made sense. What after I
Sure.
was reading the author, I was like, oh, that's where they got Alphaba from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they got that from.
Uh-huh. Yep.
It
And
made sense.
And so I love the concept of challenging the ideas of when you're being told what's evil and who's actually evil, and being told who's good and what's not good, etc. Love that. I love challenging preconceptions. This book's weird though. This book's weird. We start in Munchkinland, which great choice, by the way. If I'm an Oz fan, Munchkinland is probably my number one location. She's the daughter of the mayor.
No.
No, that's the movie.
That's the
She's
movie.
not the daughter of the mayor. She's daughter of a priest.
Oh, right. Yes. That's
She's
right.
the daughter of a priest.
Yeah.
That's
See,
one of
this
the
is what
differences.
gets me. And when
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watch
Watch
it,
the movie.
mixes me up so
Because
much.
we just watched the movie,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
just finished.
Yeah, I'm just
book.
finishing
So it was-
listening to the book too, so apologies. But
It was, yeah. Okay, before we get too far.
yeah, I
here's-
won't jump too far.
This book felt like a Wizard of Oz erotic fan fiction.
Big time.
Yes.
That's what it felt
Yes.
like.
Why is there so much
Long.
sex in this Wizard of Oz book?
Oh, Jesus.
Why is there
Oh
so
my
much
God.
sex in
Yes.
it? And I love that the musical like has just a dash of like debauchery and then moves on. But holy,
Yeah, it doesn't even start to like
it
touch
was-
on what's in the book.
It was. Look, I just started the book.
yeah,
It digs
Just
right in.
Right in it.
Yeah, 15 pages
Right in
in.
it. I'm just starting this book, and they have a puppet show of a puppet that's going out in the forest and to meet some widower and her daughter, and he pulls down his pants and he's got a penis come out of his butt, and they both start having sex with. I mean, I should.
no,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
There's a lot of puppet fucking.
They
Yeah.
they excluded the puppet.
When I said there
sex.
was the erotic fan fiction, this is not even erotic fan fiction that I would.
It's barely even
I would
erotic anymore.
masturbate.
It's
Yeah, it's
almost
just
a
fucking
I
gross.
would even
weird.
masturbate
Yeah,
to this.
it's too
and I
kinky.
masturbated, and my first
His first porn was the my giant in the beanstalk shit, jacking off in the beanstalk.
It's well known. And
just because it's well known doesn't mean we want to remember that.
sorry.
No, yeah, it's okay.
But I get it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And so, and now in the movie, she's the mayor's daughter, but not the mayor's daughter because she's the product of the affair.
In the movie.
But in the book, her sister's the product of the affair, right?
No.
No.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, she
Okay.
is a product of an affair.
Oh, but they both are.
I think
then.
pretty sure every kid was a product of an affair.
In that book,
Right.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but in the
book.
movie, her sister though is just the chosen child because
Right.
that's the Mirror's actual daughter.
And
Makes way more sense.
and
I love that.
And she is in the book too, to an extent. Like he
Right.
claims her as his daughter because she's not green.
yeah,
So, I
because
mean,
she's pink instead.
right. Yeah, yeah. It was a weird way to put it. Like,
she.
you go ahead.
This book had a lot of characters
Yes.
that didn't need to be in there
No.
at all.
No, and I
They
feel like
had a brother
yeah.
who they even showed up. He showed up once at the end, and
Yeah.
that's like the only time you even heard from him.
Yeah.
Didn't need to even be in there. Did not even be in there. Shell or Shack or
Yeah,
whatever.
it was
Right.
Shell, I
It's
think,
Shell.
because of the turtle heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't even need to be in there. That's the one that her mom died in childbirth of.
Yeah, it wasn't the little
wasn't-
sister.
it
It
was
maked way more
not
sense to
Nessa
make
Rose.
it the little sister.
It wasn't Nessa Rose,
Right.
and her nanny was not a bear.
No.
Right.
No.
They gave her a nanny of a bear, and
they gave the bear a name too, which it didn't. It was just a nanny.
It was just nanny, and they
Oh, yeah,
call
it
it
was-
nanny in the movie. I'm like,
Yeah.
that
That
and,
was
and
real
here's the
weird.
problem I have with that. You all turned the nanny into a bear when one of the biggest things in the book is about, shall we say, animals versus animals, because there's a difference. I don't know how you want to address that, but I'm like, you turned it into an animal. Like, that's a big problem
Yep.
for what's in the book.
Uh-huh.
Because
Yeah, but they do address it, kind of the animal thing in the
a tiny bit.
in the movie.
Not enough, but it's not happy and light. So
Yeah, that's true. It's very different. But okay. So back to
Sorry.
Nessa. No, it's okay. We'll get there. Back to
all this stuff that I said and that we've said.
Oh,
all the
spoiler
crazy
alerts,
sex
by the way.
stuff,
We're gonna
all
spoil
the crazy
everything.
Sex stuff that was happening before they even got to school, which is where the freaking movie
Yeah,
started.
which is where
all this was happening before.
we're
the
not
movie
even talking
started.
about the mom and Frex both having sex with the dude that shows up.
Oh
too.
yeah. They
Like,
start having
yeah.
a weird threesome.
Yeah, there's like a
Yeah.
weird
with Turtle Heart, and
Yeah.
then
Like
and they
they're
move with him.
carving
to,
shit.
Yeah.
He's,
together.
Yeah. So Nessa Rose in the movie, she is paraplegic in a wheelchair.
in the movie.
And
Yep.
Elphaba feels, responsible for her, like she needs to help her, but not take care of her, more keep other people from trying too hard to take care of her. Nice little trope, goes with her to school. In the book, she is not a paraplegic in a wheelchair. She is a pink creature with no arms.
She got no arms.
She's
Yeah.
a pink creature with no arms, so they've had a green child, and then they have had a pink child with no arms, but because the green child's teeth are pointy, we don't like it.
She looked human.
She's a little kind of
I heard
vicious,
somewhere
too,
that they made her not have arms, or made her paraplegic in the play because they felt it was like dangerous to the actors or something.
I mean, that's interesting. I mean, I could see it being easier to do on
Right,
stage, like to
right.
represent, for
I
sure.
don't know.
Yeah, for sure. But still, like,
Get the arms off that girl.
honestly though, like, you know, I'm okay with the arms. Where it gets me is we start the book in Munchkinland, we start the movie in Munchkinland. Glinda, now Glinda, returns to Munchkinland, tells everyone that for sure the witch is dead, and they're like, "Didn't you used to be friends?" And she's like, "Ah, yes, I did used to be friends with her." And they're like, "Ha, fuck that, she's dead, and we hate that bitch." And she just kind of cries a little. But here's my problem: we're in Munchkinland. And I'm looking at 300 regular-sized people. 300 regular-sized ass people standing around Munchkinland.
There's not a
I don't go
lollipop
to
guild.
No, I don't go to fucking Dunkin' Donuts and order a Munchkin and have them hand me a regular fucking donut. Now listen, I get it. Okay, but we don't want them to have to be dwarves or munchkins. Okay, but guess what? Dwarves and munchkins are magical creatures. They're not you, but you happen to be the same height as them, and you will fucking crush this and have a job. That's 200 jobs for little people actors that we don't get. And why don't we get it? I'll tell you exactly why you don't get it. It's because of the guy who did the voice of the damn goat, Peter Dinklage, ran his mouth and lost 200 other people jobs, and then took a high-profile job in the same movie. Why? Because you think we're laughing at you? Bro, we're not laughing at you. We're enjoying you. We're enjoying... I love that you're good enough to be offered a normal role. But there's 200 dudes that can't break through that glass ceiling that won't ever get a chance. Because you had to be the goat.
They're all actors, though.
That's
like all of them, and they would have to take them all, and then they're not all actors.
I mean,
so
we got 2 little people in this movie, and they were in the Emerald City. 2.
Well,
Right, and the other
And I get it, they didn't make it stand
they're not
out,
supposed
but
to-
Right.
okay, fine. Don't make them stand out and spread them out then still. Don't just take the
don't
jobs
know.
away and not have
I would
them.
like to mention that
Sorry.
I don't know about the. I don't know. You're pissed about the
I'm
little
pissed that
people.
they lost
I am
their
pissed about the
jobs.
fucking goats. There's way too much goats in both the book and the freaking movie.
There's a lot of goats.
I fucking
There.
hate goats.
Okay,
and
so-
then there's so every time, every time that goat talked, I did laugh a lot.
Let's talk about the goat.
Well, we go back to the Munchkins, but
No. I got my point out. I get
Well,
it.
I'm going to add to that because the one main character that is from Munchkinland, because he's supposed to know Elphaba, he's not Munchkin, or they tried.
No.
He's shorter just because he's short
Right.
person in general.
Yeah.
But
And
in the
he's
book
like
he was
all
short.
yeah,
like
but he's
red-haired
also
or
a fucking
whatever.
pervert in the book, and he's gross. Okay,
Yeah.
he
Well, I
peeps
mean-
in windows.
Oh, well, I mean,
He's a pervert.
Porkies.
Okay.
that was the ease.
Them some porkies.
I
Now
find
they're like,
him to
oh, you're
probably be
adorable.
on the. As far as perverts go, he's probably on the
Okay, he's on the mild end of
mild
perversion in the book.
end of the characters
I get
of
it.
perversion.
Fair.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
he
hate
was
it.
trying to.
I hate his character in the movie. I hate him.
Was that the redheaded dude?
Yeah,
The
and-
Bach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bach,
And he's like, oh,
which
I'm
I
in love
didn't
with
know.
Nessa Rose.
Okay.
And he barely matters much in the movie. I guess he goes and dates Nessa
Right.
Rose. And...
Which Nessa Rose, she doesn't even go there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
Let's just add
Yeah,
her
what?
in and be like,
She's the whole reason she
Right.
goes now?
no, big problem.
They
with
have-
that. It's in my
So
notes.
I don't know. So after this movie, when this movie ended, the second part,
Yeah.
I do not know.
What they're going to do?
Having read the book, I do not know what's going to happen in the second at all. The second part of this, because I've not seen the play, so I don't know.
Yeah,
what's gonna
I
happen.
also don't.
There's only one thing that I know is going to happen, but I mean, it's already foreshadowed and stuff. But they started this movie right with Glinda telling a story, and she tells a story of everything, and the whole deal. movie is just, it's a lot of Glinda.
Yes.
A lot of Glinda. And in the book, she is not even in it at all. She's a one-dimensional character.
Yeah, she's just extra, basically.
One-dimensional character that's in like one part section of the book.
Where the musical doesn't work without her. Like, it
Right.
very much relies on their dynamic.
Right.
Yeah, and it just, which even that.
And
being
Ariana
said,
Grande
it
does kill that role.
It
She is
changes the
amazing.
whole thing.
Yeah.
It does.
Because it makes it about, instead of making it about.
Instead of a fish out of water, you're now doing an odd couple.
You're doing.
Yes.
Right, exactly. And it's about friendship instead of. But in that, the book was not about friendship.
No, not at all. Yeah, very little to do with it whatsoever.
Only till she gave her the hat
Right.
and she saw her differently. But that was like
It was just
A
like a
little
little,
tiny
yeah,
little
and they
piece.
made that, the hat
a huge deal.
was a huge deal in the movie. And like it's a centerpiece
And they
of one
fuck
of
up
the
the
main.
shoes. The shoes are backwards.
Yeah.
The ruby slippers are not from Glinda.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not in the book.
They're not even. In the book, they're silver. But that's
They-
one thing that.
It
happens
doesn't
to-
really specify.
Yeah, well, it doesn't specify there, but in
It's silver in the
book-
original.
in the original book, they're
Wizard of
silver.
Oz, they were silver.
original-
Now
they're
they
silver.
made them red in the movie,
Right.
so that it would look better on film.
And that's one of the parts
Right.
that they kind of allude to when they talk. So when they first pulled out the slippers, they talk about them being silver and shiny, but they also talk about them going a certain way and they look red
Yeah. Right.
almost. And even in the movie, when they pull out the silver slippers,
Uh-huh.
they have a red,
Yeah.
the red cushion around it.
Yeah, so that it'll like
like-
reflect it a little.
To like, it's like a callback thing. I guess to.
Callbacks. The callbacks in that movie were stupid. You know, they have this umbrella. You don't like water, do you? We know what happens. We've seen
You
Wizard
guys
of Oz.
remember? Do you remember?
Yeah. I'm like, no.
Yeah. The monkey.
Okay.
That is the fucking dark part of this book. What she does to the monkeys. What she does, not in the movie. The movie's totally different.
And the movie
it's
is an
important
accident.
part. The monkeys are flying monkeys are pretty important in the movie.
I mean, it's pretty
They're
essential.
are.
more important than they are in the book,
Yeah.
for sure. Because in the movie, that's the turning point.
That's when
Correct.
she realizes what's going on with the wizard. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So the wizard's
Up to no good.
Not a good dude.
And doesn't have the powers that he
Yes,
pretends
and
to
he
have.
gives him. She
literally
makes him-
sees behind the
she
curtain.
makes him give the monkeys the wings.
Yes.
Yes.
Which, I think, what happened in the book, that's probably a better deal than making him give him wings than a deal that just is trying to explain it
Where
by,
she's sewing them on them.
by sewing wings on them.
Yeah, I mean, but that's that's what a witch would do, right? That's the thing, is it's like the movie does a really good job of being like, no, actually, she was just good. She was
Right.
just good and you were
Right.
wrong. Now, the book is like, okay, listen, there's some reasons she was bad,
Right.
but also, like, she was bad. She did make bad choices and do bad things. She just wasn't as bad as they portray. Like,
She,
Right. Well, there's such a time difference too in the book. Like she leaves the school, she's gone for 5 years.
right,
Like what's
right.
happening
that's
with
why
her?
I thought it was going to be easy
yeah, she goes
to
to like
do
the
the movie.
nunnery or whatever.
Before
the-
Yeah.
before I'd seen the movie, I thought it was going to be easy to do the splits because I was like, "There's a whole 7 years between all this stuff."
So then they'll come
happening,
back.
Yeah.
and so it'd be easy to do. But they didn't do that.
No, they skipped
just,
ahead.
They
and-
just one period in freaking time going out. And
Everything from the book that felt like a major point to some degree almost feels like an afterthought in the movie. Like what I'm thinking about now is like the broom or whatever, like her getting that as a gift and all this or whatever. In the movie, it's just on the floor.
right.
It's just on the floor and she sings a song and it wakes up.
well, in the book, it's
Which is fine.
Yes,
I get it. It's a
the
musical.
book-
It's
the
different.
book itself,
but-
and when they put the stuff in there, it just felt like they were just shoving stuff in there to
True.
explain things.
True.
Right.
Where do these crows come from? Oh, an elephant gave them to her. What?
Right.
What? Why
Right.
is this? In
Why
there?
is it so
Just tossing it in there
ridiculous?
Right.
to explain things that you see. That you know why they
Hit the random button.
Yeah, in the book, she was given the broom by nuns. or
Right.
something
She went.
like that.
She went. Yeah. And
Yeah,
got it
She was
from
in a
nuns.
coma, and she went
Yeah.
to the
Why is
convent.
it flying? Now?
Honestly,
Right.
it reads a little bit like an Oz soap opera.
It does.
The more I think about it.
Speaking of soap opera, a Fiyero. What?
I love that that's
in
his
the
name.
in the stupid love triangle that didn't
Why
happen
did
in
they
the
have-
book at all, and let's have
No.
a whole montage
All about it.
with Fiyero.
They're in high school. That dude is not 17.
No, he
my-
is
none of them
not.
That dude's like,
Mm.
yeah, but I mean, the others can pass.
Sure.
Even.
Maybe.
But that dude's like
He has One Tree Hill disease.
34 or something.
He's got Dawson's Creek
Mm-hmm.
disease.
That dude is definitely 34.
He's
It's
got
like,
a
what's happening?
he got a bad case of the Gossip Girls.
I don't care what he has. He got a bad case of whatever.
You're like, I'll take a bad case of him.
Oh, man.
Okay, but songs. There's none in the
Okay.
book.
No, they did have
Tons in the
songs in the
movie.
book. They did have songs in the book.
Okay. What's your favorite song from the book?
Well, they had Elphaba sing one. When there was one about some animals having sex with some dudes or something. I don't know.
Yes, there
Probably.
was, yes.
Spoiler alert: popular is not in the book.
No, what's your favorite song from the movie?
The only one I knew was the Gravity one.
Uh-huh.
Was that Gravity song? But I think Laura said she knew the Popular
Yeah.
song too. Those are two big ones.
Those are two of the big ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Defying Gravity's probably the biggest,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's the one I'd heard before.
Yeah, I mean,
Popular.
and it's my favorite. It's the best.
I like the Popular. I mean, she's swinging around on the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, but I guess the one that sticks in my head is the Gravity one.
yeah.
Right.
Defying
And I mean,
Gravity.
it's the big moment. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, I love that part. I mean, it's obviously a big part of the movie, and I'm sure the musical, because that's what everybody knows what's her face for.
Mm-hmm.
The one part I did not like, I did like they brought Kristen Chenoweth
Oh,
and
yeah,
her
that
in there,
scene.
but that was also very cheesy. Like,
You didn't like that?
The Christina
Eh,
or Kristen
it was
Chenoweth
okay.
and so they bring Kristen Chenoweth and what's her name? Idina Menzel,
Yes.
the OGs. They bring them back to do like and then that's the whole wink too, is they're like
Yeah.
we had the ancients who started it, and it's like
right.
I feel like it's probably a moment where when you're a
is
a
that a
fan
theater
of the
kid,
musical
like,
theater
yeah.
nerd, you
Is that a new
probably
song?
loved that.
I
don't
know.
That they
honestly.
sang? Because they sang one that was like, yeah. So
Yeah, it was kind of like
I wonder if that was a new song. Probably not, because they were going into
it was definitely some exposition.
Emerald City, right? That's when they went into Emerald City. Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think the second part of this is just going to be the
It's-
Wizard of Oz? Like,
Well, she has to.
Look, this was a
Spoiler
Disney
alert:
movie.
she has to kill
yeah.
Madame Morrible.
Well,
so-
yeah, that's true. Yeah, does have to
That's
kill
coming.
Morrible.
I don't know if she's gonna kill her or not.
That's
We
true.
don't even know if she actually killed her in the book.
Hey,
She thinks she does. Looks like
Right,
she does,
she
and they
takes-
allude that she didn't. There was a. That's
Fair.
one thing I hated about this book. They alluded to a lot of stuff,
But
and then
didn't
they
tell you.
switched it and didn't tell you whether that really happened or not.
It said
Like,
she took credit for it, so I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
she at least was
Fiyero.
happy about
Did he
it.
Yeah.
Did he get killed?
Yes.
They seem to think so, but then they seem to think like they just.
Yeah, I feel like yes, but you're
then
right.
They allude
They're-
to
they're-
maybe he didn't
right.
later on.
And they're-
just in case.
Like at the very end, she's like, "Is that him?"
and the stuff that happens that hasn't happened in the movie is pretty dark.
yeah.
Are they gonna go there? Like her kid, which
Oh no,
Yeah.
they're not going to go there. They
I don't
Yes.
think
can't.
so
There's
at
no way.
all.
They've already skipped past those
In-
parts.
in the book she's intersex also,
Oh, right.
and that's the
Well,
politically
one thing
correct
to go-
term. Correct?
Yeah.
Well-
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They. Okay, spoiler alert of whatever it is. I know we've already said that,
Oh,
but
spoilers.
yeah, but I was really okay. This book, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
Dude, the whole reading, it was long. It was freaking. I was like, characters were introduced that made no difference to be in there, until I got to the end. And then when I got to the end, I kind of really liked it
Mm-hmm.
at the very end because it wrapped stuff up I was like, oh, that's what's happening. This is what's happening. And then it made me feel really bad for Elphaba.
Yeah.
reading this book. I think we could go through the book, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? Through
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah,
book?
yeah. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So-
the first part, the first part of the whole story is like super important, and I hate that they glossed over
They
that
really don't even show
because
it
they
at
don't
all.
have any character development at all about what her mom is like. They just make her look like she's a floozy.
Yeah, I mean, does she even show back up in the movie? I think she's just
No,
in
she's
that.
dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. She dies with Nessa.
Yeah,
Rose.
she died. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, she might have to come back in because here's what happens at the very beginning of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the wizard is a bad dude, and when I was reading this, it was right during freaking election time. I was like, this is fucking Donald Trump right here. This is a Trumpy. This is what they
Trigger
freaking
warning.
do.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
SA.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And then, but they didn't. I was like, how are they going to do this? Because the wizard's not even. They talk about him, but they don't even. She shows up one time when they go to Emerald City, right?
Yeah.
Which is all they do is talk to him, and then at that point Elphaba realizes that he doesn't give a shit about the animals,
Right,
and the
yeah,
other things,
couldn't
which-
give a-
which- so
yeah.
which made her. Turned her into a different direction.
She
which
becomes
is
like a
without
revolutionary,
Glinda. She
yeah.
quit the school. She went and off to become a revolutionary or whatever.
Like, fight on behalf of the animals.
Yes.
Yeah, and then that's all you hear from the wizard until later on in the book. And then which is one of the deals, and I wasn't even thinking about it, but then you get to the end, and then you realize, oh shit, the wizard raped Elphaba's mom,
Yep.
and she's his kid.
Yeah.
And which was pretty. I was like, oh shit! I wouldn't even because they didn't do that thing that stories do, make you feel the foreshadow stuff of
Right.
You know, but this did the Disney thing, and her mom is hooking up with somebody. You don't know who it is, but you know who it is if you freaking
You listen to
hear
his
him singing.
voice, yeah.
You can hear his voice. It's the wizard
Yeah.
or whatever, but he's not raping her. They're just having a good time.
Right.
And they've got this green bottle that Bill Cosby is Bill Cosby her. He's the wizard, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Must be.
And he gave her this
Roofie.
bottle to Fiyero, and she didn't know what happened. But then all of a sudden, Elphaba's here. But in the movie, he's just bringing it in. They're just drinking it together, being
They're having a
happy,
good
And she
time.
just let him in, doing everything.
Yeah.
They're having. Yeah, it's not a rape situation. It's like they're doing just okay. Why is she keeping that green bottle?
Right. Well, and in the book,
If it's just a deal of
does
we were
keep
having a
it.
good time,
right.
why is that green bottle a thing you're keeping?
And that's the only thing your daughter has to remember you. She keeps it under her
Why
pillow.
is that the thing that sticks
Right.
out? If you're having an affair and you have the green bottle deal,
pillow?
Right. It's weird.
yeah.
And
I
it-
understood it in the book because it was because I think she knew that she had been
Right.
Right.
raped
like a
or
clue
whatever.
or
Well, and
whatever.
every-
but I think she kind of in her head felt like she was, she was promiscuous, and she felt like maybe kind of she probably thought
Yeah.
that this is just what happens, and it was I don't think she necessarily thought it was unokay, but it was,
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Right.
something that she put in her head. It's my fault type of thing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting a little too deep. I'm sorry.
No, and I mean, but the book is
So
super
then
deep.
she kept
like,
it there. So
Yeah.
she kept it there, this green bottle, knowing, even though it's my fault that's happened, but then she has this reminder
Right.
of the deal.
Yeah.
Of,
Yeah.
Well, and I realize you can't make a movie. Well, you could, but they chose not to make a movie that talks about
It's Disney,
like
yeah.
the birth scene and like what's happening while she's giving birth. Her husband's not even in the house. He's outside. They're trying to kill him. They're hiding her in the clock tower,
and they,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that's called. I forgot now. But like, and all of these people are making fun of the mom. Like, and then they barely even touch on the mom at all.
I hate
in this book.
Yeah.
Or in the movie.
that
which
they
we're taking.
just, and I guess it's so you can do it in this. I guess you have to. I guess, but I hate that they just made the dad an evil dude, like they do everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Every Disney movie out there. Every
Yeah.
freaking
There's no
play.
complication to
He's
it.
a bad
He
dude.
just didn't
He's a
like her
piece
'cause
of
she
shit.
was
He
green.
hated her. But that's not even how it was.
No, not at all. I hated that too. Like they just made him
Yeah.
super one-dimensional.
He was
Yeah.
one of the only people that, you know.
And I know, like, in a musical, it's a little different. A lot of the characters do lose their depth because it's more of a focus
Right.
on the music. The more I'm listening to, like, what we're thinking about the story and thinking about this musical, I honestly kind of think they just wanted to make a musical that was a prequel to The Wizard of Oz,
Right.
but then found out Wicked was already there, and they were like, well, how do we make this work? Because it is not the same story. It's
No.
just
No,
not.
it's
It
not.
goes hand in hand with, I guess, with the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's true. Very different from the book. A lot less dark. Yeah. So maybe that's
It
kind
kind
of
of
what
goes
it
in
is.
hand there. So I guess it kind of, I guess it does its own mashing of the book in that
Yeah, to some degree.
story.
yeah.
I guess. I wonder, because I haven't seen the play, but okay. So
Now I kind of want to
I know.
before the next one for sure, just so
Yeah.
I can compare it all. But it's
wanna
like I
see-
didn't want to before, just so I wouldn't know. But
I wonder if they're going to put, because there was one part in there, right, where they brought in after the goat had been chained up, which I was happy about that, but I was much more happy about when they killed the goat in the book.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Fucking goats. There's
you
too many
prefer
goats
the
in
dead
this damn
goat,
thing.
right?
But then they brought in the lion, which was in the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they, then they let him loose, right? And then we're gonna, and then Fiyero says, he goes off with Elphaba. He's like, I'm gonna go get rid of this lion or take care of this lion. We're like, where the fuck's he bringing that lion?
I'm assuming wherever the lion
Right.
from the Wizard of Oz is from, right?
I don't know.
Back to his kingdom.
He's gonna just toss the cub out in the freaking
Hey,
woods.
I think he teaches them to fight. Let me at 'em,
Maybe.
let me at 'em.
I wonder if they
He just
bring
needed a
him
drink.
back. I guess, I guess probably. I wonder if that he can't. I don't think he can be because that's
It's too much
lot
of a
of
time.
age
Yeah, too
time.
much of
Right.
a time.
so
yeah.
they're not going to make him be the
No, it
lion
won't be
like
that
in the
lion.
book, like
Right.
he was.
If they
Yeah.
skip that much ahead.
Yeah,
I don't think it could. I don't think they're
I
going to
don't
do
see
that.
how it could line up. I don't see how it could
yeah,
line.
it probably wouldn't. Which didn't
uh,
really make any that much difference even in the
No,
book.
it's just a nice.
But I think the second
connection.
Right.
book that he wrote, because there's like he wrote like 3
Yeah.
or 4 of them. I think the second one is about the lion. I think.
There's over 100 books.
Really?
I looked it up.
That he wrote?
No, the other people have written, and they're all about different
like characters.
people and different characters and all the different lands, but they all kind of tie back in to this one being so
Wow.
political and
That's crazy.
yeah, because I had no idea there were that many out there, but it's a lot.
Wow. And is there like ones that the fans consider canon and non-canon? We'll have to ask the Aussies.
Yeah, because
We're gonna have to hit
there's-
those Aussies up.
Yeah.
Why did they give her?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
No,
I
go
was
for it.
going off on a different thing.
No, let's
Go.
let's go.
Why did they give her magic to begin with?
Sorcery. She's bad at it in the book.
She didn't want to be.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be a sorcerer or anything. She wasn't even a sorcerer until the end, towards the end of the book.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
They just made her. That's her deal.
She's just like,
I think they did it to try to connect her and Glinda because that's what Glinda wanted to do.
Yeah, I
is
suppose,
be
yeah.
that. But then the way they brought her into it, anyways, she was the one at the school in the book, not her sister. And
Right.
then they took her. Madame Horrible took her in under her wing because she thought she was special and
yeah, they
she could be
overcomplicated
yeah,
that.
it was weird.
Yeah.
Way overcomplicated.
Yeah, I
that.
don't know. Yeah, they just. God, nobody is. a real person in these freaking movies. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's always you're either bad or you're.
Oh yeah,
just
there's
good.
no depth,
Right.
And
especially
if you're a
kind.
bad person and you're doing good things, it's just it's like so you can turn for your own deal.
Well, then
down
on
the
this we're
road
working
and we'll
against.
show you.
We're working against Disney. We're working against musical. We're working against
because
you know,
I mean,
legacy
Disney didn't do
IP.
the musical. I'm sure
like-
Right.
this is what happened in the musical too. So
Well,
this-
yeah, of course,
it's
of
not
course.
a Disney deal. So I guess they.
But
I
the-
guess people who go to see a musical about the Wizard of Oz
are not
going
looking
to
for
expect a
sexual
Disney
assault and
type of
stuff like
Wizard
that.
of Oz.
Yeah,
type of
not
thing.
not a Frank L. Baum type of Wizard of Oz. Yeah,
Right.
Right.
When the guy that wrote the book, he specifically said, "I didn't write this to be a children's book. I
Yeah,
didn't
it was-
write it to be
Yeah.
like."
Well, it did
Hey,
really like the first chapter,
right.
and you know
but
that's
he's
not
like,
made for.
so people that thought this was supposed to be, ooh, this is the origin story of
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz. That's not what this book was supposed to be at all.
It's yeah.
And I don't know. There's just
Again, it rang like a freaking just some Wizard of Oz fanfic, erotic fanfic thing.
It did.
The whole time I was reading it through that.
It
Right.
did.
And I was like, God.
Yeah, giving me those 50 Shades of Grey Twilight
Yeah.
vibes.
It's not-
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I,
What else made you mad? I know you had a couple things. I want to make sure you get it all out.
the goats. There's too many
Uh-huh.
goats in both these damn things.
Now, do you prefer the dead goat or the goat embarrassed
I
in
always
front of the class?
prefer a dead goat.
I thought so. I thought
I
so.
always prefer a
I
dead
thought you
goat.
preferred dead goat. I thought that was your thing.
But I also don't like I don't like the fact that, like you said, that they did the whole animal thing. That was like one of the main things in the book,
Right.
and then they totally it's in there, but it's kind of disregarded. Like there's only a few talking animals or something.
Yeah,
Right.
They don't go over the whole deal of there's a difference. I mean, because
Right.
I guess if you did,
They just
it's
make
the
it
whole,
like, yeah. They make it like all the animals either talk or don't, or like either talk or
Yeah.
lose it.
Right.
That's
Because
it.
they even talk about it in the book, like when he's on his way, he and Glinda are going on the same boat to Shiz. And they're talking about how his mom can't afford a ticket, so she has to be put in a cage to travel
yeah.
like a regular animal and not like who she is. The one thing about this book that I do like is it does touch on so many. It's like classism, racism. It talks about there's gay sex. There's
Right.
an intersex character. There's like the
Interspecies
main character. There's
sex.
there's
I
all of
s-
these things.
Puppet sex.
I seriously, as much as I hated this first entire parts of this book, of reading it, it felt just like not a good writer, not doing. It was just it just tossing things in there. The end of the book, I felt I really liked.
Felt like
I
it really paid off.
Liked the end of the book, and it kind of got me in the feels a little bit.
Yes.
And it made me it I feel a lot more for Elphaba in this than I do Elphaba in freaking She's All That Disney version.
Right.
Yeah, I mean they don't. The movie doesn't do that much to her, right?
No.
Her dad doesn't love her as much.
It's the same thing.
People look at her because her
why do
skin's
you
green.
Why do you know that her dad doesn't love her? Because he yells at her.
Right.
And if you
Right.
see him doing it, you don't
Right.
freaking.
Yeah.
You know, I hate that.
Yeah, they
They-
take all of the real trauma away from all of these people. They take all of the real depth away, but they write some bangers. They write some bangers.
They do. And now we have to wait a whole year to see where the hell they're going to go with this.
Yeah,
because
how does this
are they going
happen?
to tie that part in? Because I don't
Why-
know how they can or will. Because
Why did she wear that hat to the ball dance?
I don't know. No
That was
idea.
a shitty hat.
Yeah, she could
That was a shitty hat.
She knew what it looked
A
like.
shitty fucking hat.
But in the book, she gives it to her and she tells her that's when she decides that she
Yeah,
looks
in the book,
pretty.
she just does look good with it. In the
Yeah.
movie, nope, she looks dumb, but she wears it anyway.
It's like a Carrie moment. It's like
But she's not going out to freaking
she's going to the
win
club.
over in a dance off in the freaking deal.
She is not. There is not a dance off like the movie.
No, there should have been.
Interpretive dance off.
I feel like everything is better with a dance off.
Yeah. And
Well, there's a lot
and
of it.
Imagine the Shawshank Redemption with a dance off.
I hate the Fiyero
The Green
guy.
Mile.
Yeah. Dead man dancing down the Green Mile.
You hate the Fiyero guy?
Man,
In the
He's
the
fun in the
character?
movie. He's stupid,
Or-
but he's
I
fun.
don't hate. Okay,
He's
I
very
don't guess
Disney
I don't
print.
hate him. I don't hate him. I hate. I guess
I hate the Disney version of him.
I hate what they
liked him.
did to him there. I guess I would have been. It's just what they always do
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
a guy.
Yeah.
They don't give him any kind of whatever. In the book, he shows up. He's different. He's got like jewels on his face or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I-
blue triangles or
Yeah.
something. Is what
Yeah,
they say.
his
it's
face
very
is all
easy to
decorated.
miss
Yeah.
things and some of these things, and some of these things they have to go back.
Well, it's so
and
weird.
redo because
he like says it's
reread
such a
because-
weird thing that you don't expect to read.
Well, and they'll
Right.
say stuff like the monkeys, and he'll say the monkey flew across the room. It's like, does monkey have wings already? I
Right.
don't think
Right.
that monkey had wings.
But he was just saying like it went fast.
right,
across the
right,
room. Right.
But on purpose, he wrote flew across
Well,
the
Right.
room.
there's
Yes.
a lot of just little like one little liner
Right.
things
Wink,
in the
wink.
movie that I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And like
I
the
just-
water thing, that's a big part in the book about how she doesn't want to go down by the water. She's scared of the water.
Yeah.
She's terrified of water.
she's straight up sitting on the
And-
edge with freaking waterfalls all around her ass.
Right.
I
But-
do have one
yeah.
question about the water thing though. Like, what does she drink? That's all. That's all
They
I'm
don't-
curious
they don't
about.
talk about.
Because everything has water in it.
She eats.
So yeah, and that has water in it too.
Milk,
Well, she was
whatever it is.
drinking something in a
Yeah.
cup
So
too
she's
in
got.
the movie.
So I'm just curious what that is.
Inside of her is cool.
Yeah,
She gotta
she's
smell.
70%
She gotta
water,
smell
right?
bad.
Yeah.
That's probably why she's green.
She don't do no bathing.
Dehydrated.
She's
that makes
yeah.
sense.
I think she's
She's funky.
yeah.
Funky.
I just wish
funky,
Fiyero,
funky,
the
funky,
Fiyero,
funky,
the Fiyero
funky,
guy,
funky.
he was not important in the first part of the book,
No.
right? He just showed up,
It's super
and
important
then
in the
he
last.
came. He was super important. Yeah, in the end of it, yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I guess people want to know the difference, probably.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But listen
yeah.
to this, because what happens is Fiyero just shows up at school. Nobody. There's a whole. There's a whole disruption in class when he comes in.
Yes.
Right.
Some antlers. I don't even remember exactly what was going on during that, but there's disruption. And that's pretty much the extent of it. He wasn't the good looking guy. There was like one other dude that was really good looking that everybody was like, oh, that's a good looking dude. But after Elphaba went with Glinda to see the Emperor, it changed her mind. She wanted to be an activist and all that, and she stopped going to school. Glinda went back to school with Nessa Rose and all them went back to school. She went to be an activist, and then this dude just happened to see her like 7 years later.
Yeah, like 7.
She'd been gone for 7 years later. Nobody'd seen her. Her family hadn't seen Elphaba.
Yeah.
And then this dude happened to see her, the Fiyero, right? He wasn't hitting on Glinda or anything like that
No.
at all. He just happened to see her, and then he kind of he fell in love with her, and they had an affair,
Yeah.
right? And so then
And he was married with 3 kids.
Yes.
he was married with 3 kids. It was like it's one of those arranged marriage things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't make it better, I guess, but I don't know how that works. I don't know. I'm not judging, but
It's important
here
to the
to
story.
judge.
it is. I don't know. It's very important.
It
to
is,
the
it is, it
story
is.
because then at that point, after the when she was at the activist, I think people that were after her as being the activist came in and killed him
Yes.
in their little hideaway bungalow thing.
Yes.
They didn't really exactly explain who killed him, but it was
Right,
kind of
but they-
alluded to, I think. So then she felt bad. Well, she felt bad. She was covered in blood, but it wasn't his blood when she went to the nunnery, right? Because at that point, after the next chapter is after he's dead. You see him dead. She's not there. She is in the nunnery.
She kind of
right?
loses it. She can't speak. She can't.
Right, and she
Yeah.
has blood on her. She's like, "Yeah, blood on her." They took her into the nunnery. They're the ones that gave her the
broom.
broom and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they go through the nunnery thing. She's there for 7 years or something. I don't
For a while.
For 7
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And then they give her a kid. She has a kid. They have a kid go with her. It's like, why the fuck's this kid going with her?
Right.
Which I should have assumed that they had that along with her, and then she's going to make amends with Fiyero's wife,
yes,
and stuff, but she doesn't let him. It's all very in depth. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I started to go through it, then I was like, I'm thinking better of it
because
now.
I don't even know how they're gonna
yeah.
How's
all
this
that
movie
happened.
gonna
She
end?
goes back to because that was an important part of it
Yeah.
when she went and started living in this castle that she's at.
Right.
It's not her
Right.
castle; it was the castle of her lover's wife,
Right.
who she now had a kid with that she had brought. That the kid didn't know he was.
right.
Yeah. And then
Yep.
at that point, that's when you find out that she was the wife. She's the daughter of the wizard, and that the kid she has with her is her kid with Fiyero, and that
Yeah.
and then
Some other stuff happens.
then the whole Dorothy thing
Right.
happens. But
Yep.
they find Dorothy to wrap it up a little bit, however. But there's more to it than that. But
Right.
she got to
Right.
be. There was a whole part of it where she got to be like Fiyero's wife, and her sisters were like her family, kind of almost.
Right.
Yeah, they
At
all kind
that
of just
point,
like
and she wouldn't
live
let her.
together.
Yeah, she wouldn't let her tell her about her affair or whatever.
Right.
What
Right.
has it? So I guess I want to say all that because if somebody is looking at this to see what exactly the differences are, there's a bunch of differences.
All
A
of them are
lot.
different.
and it's very wound in there.
Yeah, in the movie, he's just like Flynn Rider from freaking Rapunzel or whatever, or he's just like, I'm the handsome guy, ha 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 ha,
Right.
and that's it.
Right. Like there's sparkles that come off of him when his white
Mhm.
teeth are
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That said, do you prefer?
I guess we should rank the book.
Okay.
Let's rate the book, and then we got to do the BMs.
Okay.
We got to give some BMs.
Mm-hmm.
Book versus movies.
Okay.
And so book wise, we don't do books on movie. I'm gonna. What's our scale?
'Let's do
1 to 10.
let's do a Dewey Decimal System.
Point something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We got an 1,000-point scale,
Okay.
and you can do decimals.
I'm giving this book. Okay. Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Out of
At 10's
10
a good number.
wicked ass witches of the
10
West.
wicked ass witches.
Out of 10 wicked ass witches, if I had not finished it, that's why I kept asking if you'd finished it.
Yeah,
Because I was like, I don't know if you'd finished. But if I had not finished it, I would have given it. I would have given it like a 3,
Oh.
maybe a 3, maybe even a 2.
Yeah.
And that's
Where's-
stopping where?
What's that?
And that's stopping like where?
Out of 10.
No, but you would have given what part just a 3?
Oh, you know what? Till I figured out that the wizard
Was her dad?
had raped her mom,
Yeah.
Okay.
and because then it all started to kind of fall into it.
And it's weird
So
for
what
me
was
because I
going on?
assumed that from the beginning,
Well,
which
yeah,
I think probably gives me a
Which I
different perspective on the book.
which I don't.
Yeah.
Why? See, that's what I was wondering. Why did you think that from him? Because they don't mention him. They don't show him. They only mention him like one time.
Right.
Why did you think that in the beginning?
Well, first of all, the mom is a little bit of a hoe, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
For sure.
But the way they
Okay.
alluded to that encounter, like how her reaction was just to the baby. I mean, which the baby was a monster. Way more of a monster. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
took it that way, and I don't know why. Honestly, there wasn't really, and they didn't do
Yeah.
any like big
Well,
development. or say
I'm
anything.
glad. If I'd got that, I would have not liked it. I don't think as much. But at that point when that happened, and then once that happened, all kinds of stuff started happening with Elphaba and her feelings, even for her dad,
Right.
and even for her sister and how her sister was treating her, and then the whole situation stuff. So I started really really liking it. I might not have liked it as much if I
got you.
come around to thinking that from the beginning.
So what's your final score?
Final score? I'm going to give it. Gosh dang it. I guess if I give it high, that would mean I'd probably read it again, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't.
No, I mean, it doesn't necessarily
wouldn't
mean
read
that.
it
I
again.
would rate.
I'm
I'd
gonna
rate
move
some
it up.
stuff really high that I wouldn't read again.
I'm going to move it up to.
Books
I'm
is
moving
different.
it up to a 7
Okay. Okay.
from that. Mainly because it makes me start thinking about things and talk. And if your book's going to make me, you've done your job. If
That's
you've,
fair.
Got emotions out of me, making me think about, her mom and how she kept this bottle around. Even he might have even meant that in it, but I started thinking about those kind of things. And, and the importance of this green bottle that she had.
Right.
It seems like a throwaway thing, but
Right.
didn't feel like it was. But that stuff started kicking. So that's
Yeah.
why I think I'm giving it
A 7.
7, possibly even 7.
Okay.
I like 7.
Okay. I really liked the book.
Ooh,
I think we read it at a time when
I guess that part was
politically
hit me a lot when they
it
were
kind of like
It was
plays
resonant,
into
yeah.
it, how people are treated and how there's a lot to the book. I don't know if I would read it again. I do want to read his other stuff, but I might read it again because I feel like there's so much in it that maybe I missed something. I'm gonna give it an 8.8.
Nice.
Wicked Witches.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
8.8 Wicked Witches for the book.
Yes.
I did just know beforehand about the wizard being
Okay.
her father. Like tangentially, I've known some things about both the book and the musical just from, I don't know, being in writing classes and shit like that. So that wasn't a super big surprise for me. I love fantasy books, but I had a hard time. He had a hard time. I have some ADHD issues anyway, so I should probably stop listening to books because I start drifting and then coming back. But he had a hard time hooking me. That said, he wrote well enough that like the big points still stand out. Like I still think about the book, so I do think it was good. I guess I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10 because I wouldn't reread it, but I am at least. I don't know if I'd read his other stuff, but I am interested in what happens in them,
Right.
and I would at least like look it up and like read a Spark Notes or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of stuff on it that he just goes over and kind of glosses over.
Yeah.
And then I've got to go back and rethink.
Right.
There was purpose to that. There was.
I had to take a lot of pauses.
And in his
like, think about
defense,
it.
for me, I'd say he writes a lot like Frank Baum, who I also don't really like reading. So
Yeah. It's been a long time since I read The Wizard of Oz.
I feel like I
but-
got similar like feelings where they
Yeah.
would both write like some things that I was just like, what is even the fucking going? What? Huh? And then I'd read some stuff and be like, this is great. So movie.
The movie. Okay, so let's give him the BMs, right?
Yeah. What?
Book versus movies.
Book versus movie.
How do we do it? We do the gold BM, right? We do a silver BM and then a brown BM, right? If we're like, this did not follow the book,
where it ranks.
and this is not, we did not enjoy it.
Now, I think as far as following the book goes,
Yeah.
it's not even like a bronze BM or it's a loose runny BM.
It is a very loose running BM. Very loose. It's almost like
It's barely the same movie, but it is the same movie.
Right.
It's two wildly different ways of getting to the same place, I guess.
Yes.
I am not taking the things that I took from that book
From that movie.
away from the movie.
No.
Correct.
After watching the movie, I'm not taking those things away.
Now
Seems like a Disney movie.
yes. Now
Yeah.
enjoying the movie though.
Yep.
Did you still enjoy the movie despite the fact it was nothing like the book?
The movie made me laugh.
Yes.
And I didn't hate it.
Okay.
The goat made me laugh. If you can make me put a goat in there and make me laugh with the goat, that's a plus for you. I think reading the book hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
my watching of this.
Agreed.
Because I was,
Yeah.
because I wanted to get what I got from the book, from the movie, but I'm not gonna get that. But I'm gonna get, and you're not gonna get. I'm not getting anything new from this movie either.
No.
You know, but I enjoyed them. If you asked me if I would read the book again or I would watch the movie again, I'd probably watch the movie again.
It's
not
it's
read
much
the book
easier
again.
to do for sure, but yeah.
Well, maybe now that I'm starting to talk with you guys, I guess that's what the book club's for, huh? I'm talking with you. I'm like, man, there's some stuff I really want to go back
And just
maybe
read it again.
look some stuff up. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it a silver BM.
Okay. Silver BM for enjoyability.
Silver BM for the enjoyability, for just that you were able to pull that from the book.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're going to make the movie as good as the book, maybe you have to do it different almost, maybe.
I mean,
I don't know.
sometimes
Right.
that's how it goes, like The
guess-
Shining.
Well, I guess that's not what happened with No Country for Old Men.
No.
Man, I love both those.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
That's
Okay.
a
Undid
great
myself.
book.
Yeah, I'll give it a silver BM.
Okay.
I'll give it a silver BM.
Amy.
I'm gonna give it a silver BM also.
Can it be on me? Oh, you're having a
Okay.
silver
No,
BM?
I am. Yes, I am. Ariana Grande is amazing in this movie.
She's so good.
Oh, yeah.
She is. Like, she's comedic. Obviously, she can sing her ass off. Cynthia Erivo can sing her ass
She
off.
really can.
But it was a cute movie.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have watched the movie before reading the book and thinking that the book was supposed to be like the movie, which is how hundreds and thousands of little girls are going to be if you're taking your daughters to go watch this movie, do not buy them this book for Christmas. Don't do it. They changed the cover of it. The cover is adorable because it has Ariana and Cynthia
Oh, they
on
did
it.
put that on the book.
Yes,
did.
they
Sell 'em.
changed it.
Oh,
Don't buy it for
geez.
Christmas. It's not a children's book.
Oh,
Please
my
don't
goodness.
do it.
Oh,
Unless you
wow.
want your child asking you some tough questions.
Do you see where they had the porn sites on the dolls?
Yes.
Like the
Wicked.com.
Yes.
Yep.
But I would definitely watch the movie again because I think it is cute. And it is what it is. I mean, if it follows the musical, if you're a musical nerd, I like musicals. But
I've got a question before you give your
Yeah, of course.
before you give your BM,
Go. No, you know what? Give your BMs. Then I'll ask my question.
Okay. So I agree with Paul that had I not read the book before the movie, I probably would. I think I would have rated the movie maybe very high because
yes.
as I was watching it, I was realizing that I am so gay. Like not like gay, like actually gay, but like I'm just sitting there like, this was a movie about shoes. The whole time I couldn't do anything but look at the shoes. And sometimes the cinematography was a little bad because they made sure they put the shoes in the shot. It was all about shoes. And then there's Bo and Yang the whole time.
Every
just
time they put him in
being
there,
hilarious.
it made me laugh. Even if he wasn't being hilarious, he just did him looking at him. Just made me laugh.
Yes, he was.
Dude is definitely not 17.
Oh yes, absolutely incredible.
Ladies, remember what he did in Bridgerton. That's all I'm gonna say. 'Cause he's-
Was he
well,
in Bridgerton?
yeah.
I've not.
And the horse
seen
he
Bridgerton.
rides in the movie is from Bridgerton. Actually,
Oh, that's kind of a fun little Easter egg.
Nice.
Yes, I loved the outfits. I loved the songs. I loved Ariana. I loved Bo and Yang. If I had not read the book at all, I would just think this is great. I love musicals. Yay, hooray! And probably would give it like a platinum BM or something.
Right.
Like,
I-
I'm gonna give it a low gold BM. Because I do still love it,
low gold
and
BM.
and I will probably watch it a lot in the background while I'm working. It's that kind of like easy to where I can put it on, turn it off, start it up whenever.
Sings
I
popular.
I think it'll be like I did with La La Land for a while. It'll be my new like little trashy guilty pleasure sing along. Yeah, I give it a low gold. I had to figure out because I rate it all on my letterbox right after I watch it, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, and I had to figure out where gold and silver lands on my star scale. So think 3.5 is the start of gold on my 5-star scale. I think that's like the very start of gold.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, so here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
After your BM, if you just had your BM, my question is this. None of us have seen the play,
Correct.
right? And we've read the book, and we've seen the movie up to this part that they had, and we don't know what's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and what do you think's happening with Fiyero? Who's he going with?
Oh, in the
Second part?
In this love, in
Movie?
the second part, in this love triangle.
He's going with Elphaba. That's what I feel.
I think he will end up breaking Elphaba's heart.
Yes.
And going with Glinda in the end, and there's gonna be,
And that's why she gets wicked?
and there's gonna be some of that emotion. Like while she's getting wicked, there's gonna be a moment where he has to make the choice.
I really hate if they do that because I'm going to be giving that one like a bronze.
No, I'm with you. I agree but the tropes,
I
tropes are troping hard in this movie.
Well,
I agree. That's not what they should do.
She does start.
I
She
think
does
they
start
might.
the movie. Glinda does.
Yeah.
Talking about Elphaba.
Right.
And they ask her if she was her friend.
And she's like, friend?
She was a little
But
hesitant.
Right.
It's a little shady.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing.
Well, because I feel like at the end of this movie, you see them make their choice, right? Elphaba is leaving, and then at the end, they show Glinda getting the hug from Marble, and she, like, brings her hand in on the lower back and embraces the hug, so I think we're getting Glinda being the face of propaganda and Elphaba being the face of the animals in the second half, and them having a little showdown. And Fiyero.
So you think maybe that second part of the book that would
Breaks her
happen
heart.
where Fiyero met up with her might happen?
Potentially, but
Maybe.
in a different way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh.
That's my guess.
I really want to watch.
Now I'm probably going to end up watching it. Like,
Yeah.
definitely before the second part of the movie comes out, I'll watch it. I know I will.
Yeah.
The play to see
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know I will.
what does happen? Yeah.
Uh-huh. I haven't
here's a
even
long
done the
year to wait.
soundtrack. Yeah, I know. I haven't even done the soundtrack of the original yet, and I wanted to right after, and I was like, I'm going to wait. But now I'll listen to it this week because, yep, I got to know. Well, I
Okay.
think that was pretty good.
We just trauma dumped.
It was
for
a little,
while.
yeah, it was a little
Yeah.
heavy. It was a little bit of a heavy
Yeah.
book. Movie not so heavy, but book very heavy.
Yeah.
Maybe what do we want to do for the next one?
Oh, yeah. We do know what's our next. What's.
It's holiday seasons. It doesn't necessarily have to be a new movie. We could
Yeah.
do something holiday themed, or we could not do that too.
Mm-hmm.
We're already doing holiday movies, though. We're doing Christmas movies marathon.
That's jumping up here pretty quick.
And it's going to be coming out. I've been watching some of the movies. I'm ready to hot frosty,
Yeah, because
baby.
we're gonna be doing the movie. We're gonna be doing our movie reviews.
Yep.
Those are coming up.
Yep. We could just go light and just do a light, fun little Harold and the Purple Crown. That's on Netflix now.
I can't watch that guy.
Okay. I won't make you.
I mean,
I won't make you. We'll toss some
can
things
talk
around.
about it.
We'll toss some things around. We'll come back to
we
you.
can do the Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Well,
And
yeah,
we can
maybe
make
we'll
that
do.
up quick.
We'll do a
We'll jump
little.
out there
We'll
quick.
do a mini Harold and the
We should
Purple
have came
Crown.
out. We could have had a book before we.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll do a mini Harold and the Purple Crown, and then we'll announce what the real one will be.
If there's a movie we haven't watched
Hmm.
and we haven't read the book, but we know that there's.
Is Paddington Books? Is Paddington?
Is Paddington?
well, the thing looked adorable the other day. It was
Because
like,
Paddington and Peru's
Paddington.
coming out. My number one question ever asked is Paddington Books. All right, we're gonna do a mini Harold and Purple Crown. We're gonna get you a next book at the end of that one.
Get in the comments.
Get in the comments and let us know what you want us to watch or read, and read along.
Yes.
Read along. We're gonna have some fun. We'll let you know in advance when we find these. So we're gonna pick something it's coming out beginning of the year, even somewhere around there, and we'll start reading. Until then, this has been Matt Keck alongside me, the light of my life.
Paul, Wicked Witch of the Far East Shields.
and of course we have.
I'm not gonna be a witch.
Oh, you're not gonna be a
I'll
witch?
be Fiyero.
Okay, and we've got ourselves
Or-
Fiyero, Aimee, I live, and
Are
wow,
you Glinda?
yeah, I guess I'm a little bit Glinda, aren't I? I am, and that is a
I'll be Dorothy.
BVM. Ouch! Knock out. How do we end? I don't.
Books.